Well, my game plan starting on off today is I am going to be watching LIPO. That's the one that I'm going to be watching at the bell. LIPO does have shares available to short. I did already locate 5,000 shares to short whenever I want throughout the day. Now remember guys, locate and entering is two different things. To say to yourself, oh, I located 5,000 shares. That means I located, but it basically means I reserved 5,000 shares so that I can trade or short 5,000 shares whenever I want to. LIPO though, at this moment, I am not in on this play. I've already traded one time today, made $669. And now again, we're looking to see, hey, can we make a lot more money? Can we see again, LIPO go a little bit more crazy? Can we see the stock, get a nice little dump back on down? Let's see what happens at the start of the day. I'm thinking if we crack the VWAP, I'm going to look for a short back on down to $5. If we do get a quick, spike on up, I'm either also thinking about doing a short as we come up towards the high of the day. If LIPO starts, getting halted on the upside, I might take a step back and be like, okay, I don't know if I want to short this just yet. Right now, when I take a look over on LIPO, I still see that we got some higher lows brewing though. We got some higher lows brewing. We are above the VWAP. We want to make sure we're being smart on this play. It's going to be a very fast, very crazy play. Also, how much are locates for shorts? This morning, they were only $5. So something that if you are a shorter, you want to make sure you understand. Let's go ahead and check this on out. So before, it was $5 for me to locate shorts. Let's see what it is for 100 shares now. And this was $5 per 100 shares. So let's go ahead and check this on out. Locate, let's see what it is at this moment. $31. So Deck, how did you get it at $5 and now it's $31? Well, guys, I was one of the first people to wake up and again, locate my shares. If you are waking up at 9:30, you're going to be paying the maximum fee to go ahead and locate shares. If you're the first person to say, hey, LIPO is going on a very big spike, let me locate shares right away, they're not as much in demand yet. So you're getting in early. So you can limit your locate fee. So always again, try to locate stocks as early as you can. That's going to be the best potential. All right, so traders, let's get ready to rock. The market opens on up here, team, in actually 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, market opens on up. Let's get ready to go. Indicators, throw on the VWAP here. Market opens on up in about 1 minute here, or 1 second. I want to see again if LIPO is going to get some crazy hype, crazy volume, crazy momentum. No trade for myself at this moment, but I am watching LIPO extremely closely here, team. Extremely closely to see if LIPO is going to be able to go on any sort of big spike. I do have shares available to short at this time. I'm going to do 1,000 shares on the short side, just kind of kick off my day here, just in case we crack the VWAP. So I'm going to do 1,000 shares on the short side, just in case it does get a quick little crack right back on down. You guys can see at this moment, I do have a cost basis of 564. That's my, again, cost basis, which isn't really a great cost basis, to be honest with you. But let's again see what this play is going to be able to do. It's trying to hold that VWAP area. I'm going to go back into a 1 minute time frame and let's see if we can crack that, again, VWAP area. So far, we're basically just sitting right around that, 575-ish mark. We do have, again, a lot of resistance up near $6. And I'm actually thinking we're going to see probably a quick little break of $6 for, a potential reversal. Let's see. Can we, again, crack back on down? If we crack back on down, that's a great sign. Here we go. Getting a little bit of a dump. Getting a little bit of a dump. A little bit of a fade back on down here. Can we stay underneath the 550 mark? If we can stay underneath, again, 550, I'm going to add on to my shares to short. We do have, again, what's this area? 561. I have a cost basis right now of 553 because I did just add 2,000 shares. Let's see if we can stay underneath the VWAP area. Got 2,000 shares on the short side. Let's see if we can dump on down towards like 525, take some nice profits down towards around 525 or so. So right now, guys, we're up $878, $918. Let's see if we can keep on going a little bit lower, go on down towards a little bit lower. I'm going to actually just take my gains right here, team, just to be smart. Hey, made a little bit more gains. I made about $200 on that trade. Remember, I was up $649. Now I'm up $800. So again, just want to take my profits because it is getting that lower shadow, but still, again, sitting right around that VWAP. Currently up $800 on the day. What I like about LIPO is the fact that it's active. Remember, team, something that you guys will learn about me is I do not care if I trade options. I do not care if I trade penny stocks. I do not care if I swing plays. I do not care if I do this or that. All I care about is what is the most active stock that's going to make me money. That's it. What is the most active stock that's going to make me money, that's going to make me cash? That's all I care about when I'm trading, again, penny stocks. So, or that's all I care about when I'm trading. I just want to, again, make sure that I'm putting myself on good positions, taking my profits when I have them. LIPO, guys, getting a little bit weaker. Guys, LIPO getting a little bit weaker. Now it's starting to drop on down low of the day, 531. Now it's starting to fade a little bit more. So we're starting to fade a little bit more. We do have room to fall all the way back on down towards the low $5 mark. Low $5 mark, room to fall over on LIPO. We also have, again, still LIPO getting a little bit weaker, starting to fade on down towards, sub $5. Thinking about just doing a small entry of another, again, 500 shares. Just doing a small entries of 500 shares, price at 521. New IPOs sometimes, again, give everything back and go all the way down towards sub $5. So guys, I'm just doing a small entry right now. Just again, I'm up $50, $60. Let's see if this keeps on falling. So let's see if this just keeps on getting weaker. LIPO, guys, actually is going to get halted. I'm going to add another 1,000 shares here on the short side. Adding another 1,000 shares on the short side. And let's see if we can fall all the way underneath $5. We almost got halted on the downside as well. Currently sitting with an $848 profit. Current cost basis is $515. So if we can crack underneath $5, guys, crack underneath $5, I'll be able to make a nice gain. Where would you lock up, Deck? Somewhere in the 490s. Somewhere in the 490s just to be able to make like another $200 profit. That's kind of what I'm going for. $200 or so. So let's see if we can get that $5 little crack. Low of the day has been 504. We're currently up slightly at this time. And I just want to see, again, that crack through that $5 mark and start fading itself on off. So again, only 1,000 shares. It's not like this is a massive order at this time. Not like it's a massive trade. But since we are getting weaker, we actually hit the halt area on the downside there for just a moment. Currently breaking even on this trade. Price, you can see 515. Ooh, 503, 504. The bids at 504. Come on, let's get that crack. We got a little bit of a spread though. A little bit of a spread's forming because we are getting a little bit of lower volume. Some traders at this point don't really want to be involved over in LIPO, it looks like. So some traders at this moment are saying, I don't know if I want to get involved in LIPO. So we're getting a little bit of a larger spread and less volume at this time. Let's even get that crack sub $5. And I want to sell this back on down to 490. If I can sell this back on down towards, again, that 490 mark, it'll push me up towards like $950 in profit. So LIPO, still watching this one closely. Came on down towards, again, 504. Little bit of a pop on up so far. 525. Let's see if this one can get that reversal. That nice big reversal. Right now, about a 5-cent spread. 5-cent spread. Looking for the dump back on down underneath 510. Start getting weaker on this play and start seeing this one, slowly fade on off. A lot of times new IPOs are known to have gap ups as well that, do kind of fade on off. Gap ups that start, giving a lot back. Gap ups that cannot hold their gains. Big upper shadow fell on down. VWAP strong resistance at 550. Looking for that to be able to continue to hold. But honestly, I want to see this thing crack underneath $5 even before that. I want to see this one, start getting weaker and fade. A little bit of a pop. I do still get nervous on LIPO because I know how fast this play can be. This play could easily, again, turn into maybe some sort of wild, crazy, let's say, wild, crazy type of red to green move type of play. So I do just want to still be careful over on LIPO. LIPO currently up $650. No other trades for myself just yet. I only have, again, 1,000 shares on the short side. Once LIPO does crack, let's say that $5 mark, that's where things are going to start getting very weak on this play, just because you do have so much room to just be able to fade back on down towards like 450 and so I do just want to see this one, continuously, fade on off. If you do get, let's say, a little bit of a pop up towards the 540s, I don't think it's going to be holding too much. Right now, it's still trying to hold up its best though. I want to see a crack of 520s here soon. Get back underneath the 520s to start showing me that we are starting to reverse, that we are starting to get weaker. If we do not get a crack of 520s, that's where I'm going to say, hey, you know what? It's not looking like it's happening right now. But here is getting a little bit of that crack of the 520s. Let's see if, again, we can start fading more. Let's see if we can start dropping here. Let's see. We got the crack of 520s. I'm going to add 500 shares to this play on the short side. So adding 500 shares on the short side for that $5 crack. We want to stay underneath the 520s, absolutely. But I'm just adding 500 shares to see if we're going to crack underneath 500. Cost basis, 514, 1,500 shares at this moment. So still looking for that turnaround, still looking for that dump. And I'm just, slowly adding some shares in on this play for that potential crack, for that, weakness that, that I want to see coming on up here. So here's 508, 507, 506, still getting a little bit weaker here. Going to add another 500 shares, adding another 500 shares. Cost basis is 512. Let's try to push our profits up over $1,000 today. Here's $5 right now, guys. Can we crack $5 and go on down towards like 490? Remember, I want to try to lock in some gains at like 490, 480. Low of the day so far is 501. 501 is the low of the day so far. We're currently up $871 on this trade. Let's see if we can get that, crack of $5. Crack of $5, fade on down. Even if it's just like a nice long lower shadow to 490s, 480s, I'll take it because I'll be willing to take my profits quickly. But that's kind of like the big thing here. Notice how we have a little bit of a double bottom, double bottom, double bottom, and again, a little bit of a double bottom. So these double bottoms show that there is some support right here. There's definitely some sort of line of support at this time. We may get one more last little touch of like 520, I think, but if we ever start going back above, I would say like 530, that's where I would be a little bit more nervous. That's where I would say to myself, I'd probably again just take my profits and move on with this play. So let's watch this downtrend. If this downtrend ever started breaking of like 530, I would just say, hey, you know what? Not looking too great for me. I'm just going to move on from this play. But right here, traders, what do we have? We got, again, stock trying to come itself back on up, back above 520. I am currently in on this play with 2,000 shares, as you guys know. Still looking for a reversal back on down and get that $5 crack. That's kind of the most important thing for me. Watching again to see if this downtrend holds, kind of right around that 530-ish mark. And if we ever started breaking that downtrend, that's where we could possibly squeeze on up towards, the VWAP area, and it just wouldn't be worth it for me to hold anymore. So anything like 535, 540, I would get out of that play just because it would not be worth it to me to be able to hold. So here's a touch of 530. Notice again, we touched the downtrend. Touching the downtrend. We don't want to break through that. Are we starting to break through it a little bit? Getting ready to get out? Guys, I'm getting out of my position. Not worth it to me. It's going to squeeze to me. So I'm getting out of my position, and you know what? I'm going to stay green on the day here. So I'm staying green on the day right now and getting out of my position if this thing again is going to squeeze. So I got out of my position. I did take a loss. I'm still green on the day, but it's not worth it for me to hold and possibly get demolished. So it's not worth it for me to hold and get demolished. And it's all because we have that downtrend. It's trying to again work its way up through that VWAP area at this point. So we just ran all the way up towards the VWAP. VWAP is strong resistance at this point. So VWAP, very strong resistance. It tried to squeeze there for a moment. You guys saw that? Tried to squeeze there, and notice right at my downtrend, that's where all the buyers came on in. Perfect squeeze setup. I've seen that a million times. Perfect squeeze and starting to get even a little bit weaker now. So should I add back in on this play? I don't want to be the guy that's just like adding in on this play, not adding in on this play. Right now, again, LIPO still has, some potential behind it. There's again a little bit of that drop back on down. So there's that drop. Now we're starting to get that weakness. Upper shadow still sitting right around that 520-ish mark. LIPO still again. This has been the hottest place so far. This has been the hottest place so far where stock traders have been focused on it. And really, for you as a trader, you're basically saying to yourself, all right, hey, LIPO, as long as we don't go above the VWAP, guess what? That's fine, right? As long as we don't go above the VWAP, that's fine. But once you do go above the VWAP, that's where there's going to be some serious trouble. So if you are a trader that's saying, ooh, I don't know what's going to happen next. If you again get back above that VWAP, that's where there will be again trouble for shorters. And that's just not what I'm willing to hold. Keep your losses tight and small. Keep your losses tight and small. LIPO coming back up towards the VWAP area. Let's see what's going to happen at this VWAP. Here we go, guys. LIPO, this has been the hottest stock so far today. Currently up 73% on the day. Still the #1 top gainer. And let's see if LIPO is going to be able to get, any sort of break of that VWAP, because it does. Possible squeeze could be on its way. LIPO, I do have all my shares available to short. I'm up $139 on the day, and I'm looking for my nice trade, my big trade today. I'm talking about like my $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 trade on the day. LIPO so far, team, still looking. It came on up, VWAP came back on down, came on up. It's still sitting right around that 530-ish mark at this moment. Little bit of a guessing game over on, again, LIPO at this time, because a lot of traders saying, is this going to be able to squeeze? Is this going to be able to break on out that 550 mark? You may get that one last potential push over on, again, LIPO before it says, not happening. So LIPO, you may get that one last potential push if we do start downtrending and start turning back on down. That's where, again, things are obviously going to start getting weaker quick. LIPO, I'm keeping this one on high watch for myself in case this one does start, dumping and kind of gets that sell-off. So LIPO, still watching this one, of course. And we get that last little squeeze on up to around that 550 mark. I do have a feeling like LIPO is going to make some sort of rapid move in the next few moments. I got a weird feeling, guys, that, that LIPO is going to be making a rapid move in the next few moments. You guys can see right now, only up $138, starting to get a little bit weaker as we can see. Maybe it could start arching its way back on down, and I would like to be able to make some nice profits over on this play. LIPO, we again have one touch, came on up towards the VWAP, touched the VWAP, now starting to arc its way back on down here. Can LIPO hold its gains, or is this going to start getting weaker? There might be some sort of higher lows trying to develop, maybe some sort of higher lows trying to develop. Crack of this trend line might start getting involved on this play. Yeah, it looks like, that's the trend line. If we start going underneath, 520, if we start going underneath 520 team, we may start seeing this thing start selling off because we do have, of course, crack. It's starting to hit that, 520-ish mark. If we again start cracking 520, we may start seeing a little bit of a sell-off. I'll probably start adding back in on this play if we start going underneath that 520 mark, because I think we could dump all the way down towards a new low of the day. So LIPO, still watching this one closely, and it's still just hit. Watch the level 2. Look at the level 2. We have so many bids right at 520. 520 trying to hold up the best it can, and we're seeing if can that continue to hold 520. If we again crack 520, we could get that nice dump. There's always the fear of the either breakout, fake out, which again cracks on down. And I'm going to add some shares here, team. I'm going to jump on in on this at this moment and look to see if we are going to get that dump. So I am going to jump back on in. I'm in on 3,000 shares on the short side right here. 3,000 shares on the short side at this moment at the price of 514. So I just jumped on in as I think we are starting to get a little bit of this crack. As again, we're starting to get a little bit weaker. Now, Deck, what's your stop loss? Stop loss for me is if we got back above 530 again. It would still be the same as that game plan. We get back above 530, I would move on and say, not working for me. So I would say again, 530. I'm going to keep adding shares though on the short side slowly on this play, looking for the $5 crack and the demolish here. So here we go, guys. Currently up $238. Let's see if we can get that crack of $5 now. Let's see if we can crack underneath $5. Currently in on 3,500 shares, which is a nice, solid investment so far. So let's see if this one can crack that $5 mark and actually get weaker for us. Right now we're currently up $308. Let's get that $5 dump, go on down towards the low 480s. That's what we want to see here. So we cracked again this uptrend, back on down to $5. We do have a little bit of this triple bottom. You guys can see bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, trying to get that bounce. We need to see that crack for the profit that we all want. So if we want to get that nice profit, we need to see that crack. So Deck, where's stop loss again? Stop loss is if it ever gets back above 530. Back above 530, we're all 100% out. Obviously not worth our time. Right now, LIPO, we are again waiting for that possible turnaround, reversal, and that sell-off. I'm going to add another 500 shares on my play to make it a 4,000 share position at this moment. So 4,000 share position at this time, waiting for that $5 crack and sell-off. We are looking for a new downtrend to start developing. So we should have again 530 strong resistance on the uptrend and 530 strong resistance on the downtrend as well. I like our entry. I like what we're thinking. I like how we're looking for this reversal. And of course, again, LIPO, we still have another 1,000 shares we could add as it comes on up towards around that 530-ish mark. We've had a bounce play once, bounce play twice, bounce play 3 times. We're looking for this thing to start reversing back on down. So giving us a little bit of time for that $5 crack. You guys know my game plan. Currently, again, in the red, $123 right now. Currently down $123 at this moment. So LIPO still looking for that $5 crack. Target 480 should be able to pay us on out. A nice gain if we can go all the way on down towards like 480 or so. So LIPO right here, I'm looking to see, is it going to hit that top area and start reversing? LIPO, guys, got to stay smart here. Got to stay smart, hitting that top area. Let's see if we reverse back on down. If we start squeezing, I'm going to be getting out of this play, and it's starting to move itself on up here just slightly. Let's see if we get a little bit of a drop, guys. I got to get out of this. Guys, look at now this one's trying to squeeze. So I am out of this play. How to get out of this play? It just had another, again, little squeeze pattern. So I've been caught in this little squeeze, and I just got caught in this little squeeze, but I'm not going to continue to hold this. LIPO is looking for another squeeze and rip. Now, I'm not in on this because I got to be willing to get out when I can. LIPO, guys, may get halted on the upside right now. So team LIPO just got a little bit of a short squeeze. We basically had a $5 bounce, looking for the $5 crack, and we couldn't get it. Now, there's good and there's bad on this play. Deck, what's the good? What's the bad? The bad is I didn't make any money. That's the bad. But what's the good? The good is, could you imagine if I kept on holding? Traders, where did I get out of this play? I got out of this play at 558, 558, 558, 557, 559. That's where I got out. If I kept on holding, it would have been a much bigger loss. So again, LIPO, got to keep my nice tight losses. And of course, if we go back underneath the VWAP, I will jump back in on this play. So LIPO, this has been a hot one. You guys can see I'm currently in the red at this moment, and we're looking to be able to come back with a little bit of fire. If LIPO could ever break, I would say the price of $7. Things could start going crazy over on LIPO. Because if you start getting above $7, guys, over on LIPO, guess what? It's never been above $7, or the highest it's ever been was $7.73. If you can get somewhere above $7, or especially the highest it's ever been of $7.73, this one could go bananas. And I actually mean it could go crazy, could go absolutely bananas. And the reason why is because it wouldn't have any other previous highs. So if you want to short it, you have 2 different areas to short. You're either going to short it right near $7. That's going to be your your first area for a potential short, or you're going to try to short it at the high of the day up here, which is going to be 775. But if we break 775, I would not feel comfortable shorting it until basically it went up so high, traders would say, all right, it has to come down at some point. But if you want to go after the next short, it's either going to be at 690 or it's going to be up towards around that 760 mark. LIPO is live. LIPO opened on up, got up towards a high of the day of 610 so far. Can we break through 610 and start ripping on up near around those pre-market highs? Let's see here. LIPO, guys, trying to hold on up right around $6 so far. This is a very fast, very crazy play, as we know. Things can get awfully spicy over on LIPO. Things can get awfully spicy over on LIPO very, very quickly. I am still interested more towards the short side. Oh, guys, we got up towards, again, 610. It's still having a lot of trouble. Still having a lot of trouble to be able to break through that $6 plus mark. The thing is, this is when you would have to try to get in on shorts. If you're saying to yourself, okay, I think this is going to start falling. I think this is going to start getting weaker, just because we have so much volume on this play right now, which I love. So I love the volume. I love the hype. LIPO, just trying to make this a little bit bigger. Got a lot of resistance up here. It seems like, it's like kind of this line right across the board at that 610 mark. Can LIPO work its way back on up, or is that basically it? Big time spike and now starting to fade back on off. So LIPO got all the way back on up. It looks like it's starting to drop. Looks like it's starting to get weaker here once again. And this is a play, as I said, I would love to be able to take advantage of it on the short side. I really would. But every single time it, starts spiking, LIPO has squeezed me on out. We have basically U-shaped pattern, attempted U-shaped pattern. 530 has been the main support line over on LIPO. LIPO is starting to look a little bit weaker here still once again. I was hoping LIPO would have a gap up and rip and run. Gap up, rip and run up towards those pre-market highs. That's what I want to see. So far, LIPO is back above the VWAP, which is a good sign if you are a buyer. So buyers, it is above the VWAP, and as long as it holds above the VWAP, it's got a decent chance. So LIPO team, still a very hot play, definitely has potential here. Still getting a little bit weaker. As long as we're underneath the VWAP team, this is getting a little bit weak. I'm going to jump back in on this play as long as we're underneath the VWAP. As long as we're underneath the VWAP, I'm going to do some shares on the short side because this is still having some trouble. I'm just getting in slowly. And remember, team, people are like, oh, Deck, you lost earlier. Why would you trade the stock? Because I want to make money. The thing is, I'm not going to let trades pass me by. If there is opportunity, I'm going to take advantage of it. People get scared. People get nervous, whenever they take a loss. That's not the trader you can be. You got to be a trader that says, hey, you know what? If you take a loss, figure out the next trade and how you guys can be able to make profit. So far, again, we're sitting right at that VWAP area, and we're going to see can again this be able to hold on up. We're slowly again looking to be able to add shares in on this play. We're currently in at 544 at this time. Still getting some nice dropping towards this stock. Still underneath the VWAP, so I'm slowly adding. You can see my position box currently at 2,000. And let's see if this one can, get that nice big sell-off that I've been waiting for. That nice big sell-off that I've been waiting for. It looks like we may start getting a little bit more of a crack. Currently in on 2,500 shares. Looking for this one to be able to eventually get that fade and that sell-off that, I've been kind of waiting for. We've so far, team, have had spike, dump, spike, dump, spike, dump. That's what we've had so far, right? So it's been spike, dump, spike, dump, spike, dump over on, again, LIPO. And LIPO obviously has not been, a fan favorite with me right now, has it? Every time I get involved in this play, it's like it knows. It's like it's watching me. It's watching me at this time saying, okay, hey, if Deck buys in on this one, I'm doing the opposite. It's like it's watching me at this time. LIPO, 610 high of the day. Still has some good volume right around that 610 mark. Another big upper shadow right around that area. Another big upper shadow. A lot of craziness over on LIPO. A lot of craziness over on LIPO right now. And what I like about this craziness, even though I'm in the red right now, what I like about this craziness is the fact that this craziness could easily lead towards a dump. This craziness could easily lead towards a sell-off. This craziness does not always mean, okay, hey, craziness is bad because it's going to spike on you. Craziness could lead towards massive sell-offs, massive dumps. Craziness can also lead to big spikes. But the thing is, we have to just stay smart. We have to, again, stay aware. We have to slowly add to our position. And then, of course, we'll go from there. Right now, I'm still trying to add to my position over on LIPO. Get myself on a nice opportunity to be able to nail this dump and see this one, start falling to sub 550s. And then eventually get that $5 crack. So can we, again, fall underneath the VWAP once again here? Can we fall underneath the VWAP, guys? We're back underneath the VWAP right now, which is a good sign. Back underneath the VWAP. And can we get the dump? Can we get the dump now over on, again, LIPO? We're still sitting right around that 550-ish mark. We've had upper shadows on the upside. We've had lower shadows on the downside. And we're basically just sitting at the VWAP at this moment. moment. Upper shadows, lower shadows, sitting at the VWAP. Which way is this one going to go? Usually new IPOs are known to give back a lot of their trades. Usually new IPOs do not hold on up very well, and that's like kind of what I'm banking on at this time. We can see that we have a little bit of a downtrend starting to form. Next area that it could pop itself up to is mid 560s. And as I said, I'm not here to sit around. I'm here to try to make some cash. I'm not here to sit around and just hope that again, a stock moves in my direction. I'm here to make some cash. I'm here to pull the trigger. I'm here to get after it. We're still again VWAP. Notice when we on this 1 minute chart, we extended a little bit. It's a little bit easier to read. Top resistance up near 610 falls on down. Top resistance up near 610 falls on down. We are getting weaker. You can see we are building lower highs. You can see that every single spike is a little bit lower than the last one. We are looking for the reversal and the sell-off underneath this VWAP mark. That's what we want. That sell-off underneath that VWAP area to really start dumping this play, to really show, hey, you know what? This is starting to get weak. This one is starting to fade, and this one is starting to drop at this point. So I'm still adding shares, still looking for my play to be able to get a full position of 5,000 shares. That's what I would like. I would like to get my full position of 5,000 shares, and I would like to try to add the last little bit if I can up near around the 560s. But hey, if it wants to dump, I'm never going to be upset if this thing wants to sell on off. If it can go underneath 530s again, we should be able to see that big time sell off, underneath $5. So, we currently are down $1,600. You guys can see this right here. I always show you guys my P&Ls, but we're trying to battle back today, trying to again put ourselves in the zone here today. We are again still hitting that 550 mark, but the bids are all the way down towards the 530s. So we do have these lower shadows. Can we crack this lower shadow and get that sell off? That's the thing. We just came on down to that lower shadow again. Currently down again $1,500 at this moment. We just need to see this thing dump. If this thing can crack, if this thing can sell on off, this is going to be a nice hard red candle, and that's what we need. But let's also remember something. What I want does not mean that's what we're going to get. Stock trading will humble you extremely quickly. What I want is not always what I'm going to get. We got to play the chart. And when I take a look at the chart, I see that we still have lower highs. I see that we're underneath the VWAP. I see we have an attempted spike and we fell. We had an attempted spike. We fell. We cracked the VWAP. But once again, play the other side. Let's not just again talk about things that are in our favor. Let's be realistic. Realistically, it has very strong support at 530. 530 is where it hit resistance and fell and hit resistance and fell and hit resistance and fell. And when we broke it, it had a massive spike. And it came back down to 530 and it bounced in 530 and it bounced in 530 and it bounced. And guess what it's trying to do right now? Is it that shocking it's trying to bounce at 530? The answer is obviously no. We know 530 is a strong support line. So let's not be again critical on just, let's say, the negative side or the positive side. Let's be a very 50-50 trader. When we're in on a trade, let's know what we need to break. And let's also understand why a stock may reverse in certain areas. So LIPO, I'm still in on my play. As you guys can tell, 4,000 shares, currently sitting with a cost base of 549, currently down on the day $1,700, and we're looking for this one to ultimately stay underneath the VWAP, crack 530, and get the sell-off that we all want to see. All right, so far we are again watching this. I already took about 1 to 2 losses over on LIPO, and I want LIPO to be my $3,000, $4,000 day. I want LIPO. LIPO, how great do you feel that I'm choosing you to be with me today? You and me together, LIPO. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, LIPO. Let's be with each other. Come here, you and I. Come on, don't be scared. Come on, LIPO. I want to see LIPO in my arms. LIPO is scared and alone, and I want him in my arms. Come here, I'll take care of you, and I'll love you, and I'll squeeze the living poop and money out of you. Come on, LIPO. Come here. Come on, let's see if we get that 530 crack. We're so close to breaking 530. So close. So close to breaking 530. Oh, team 530 is still just not breaking yet. Look at this. Like, it's going to go 530, then $5. 530, then $5. But you know what? We're still, again, having trouble. Still not there yet. 530 is strong resistance. Now, if you are or strong support. Now, let's also be straight up with each other, team. If you do have, let's say, a great entry. Let's say you are currently sitting with an entry at around like 560 on the short side. What is something that you can do? You can lock in profits at 530, can't you? You can lock in gains at 530. OTM, how many people here have locates on this? Would like to see a poll? OTM, every person can get locates on this. It just comes down to who's your broker. And the cool thing is every single person can choose their own broker. So if you want to, choose Trade Zero. You only need $2,000 to use them and you're all good to go. If you want to, choose Lightspeed, choose Centerpoint, choose Interactive Brokers. Sometimes people again say, well, Deck, I don't like when you again do a short. I don't have shares available to short. And again, it's one of those things, guys, that I do not mean to sound rude screwed in any sort of way, but just change your broker then, right? If you don't want to change your broker and you don't have shares available to short, unfortunately, that's not anything I can do. It's like, hey, Deck, I want to lose weight and I want to get in great shape. Okay, let's go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. So if you don't have shares available to short, Lightspeed does. Centerpoint does. Trade Zero does. Interactive Brokers does. So that's why, again, you got to make sure that you guys are all good. Right now, let's see if this thing is going to dump. Honestly, we have a little bit of higher lows. Might get one final pop on up here if it does get that little pop. We just don't want to break in this downtrend or we're going to have another squeeze. If we break this downtrend, we're going to have another little squeeze pattern. Still watching LIPO, currently down $1,500, got 4,000 shares over on this play, looking for the dump underneath 530 for that sell-off. That sell-off all the way back on down to sub $5. I want this to be my play today. I want this to be the play that, can make us that money. Gary needs a new pair of shoes. So far, team, let's be honest. So far, what have been my trades over on LIPO? So far, I tried to get a $5 crack and it bounced back on up. Then I tried to get a $5 crack and it bounced and squeezed all the way on up. And now I'm in at the VWAP area and I'm looking for a 530 crack to fall back down to $5. So I'm looking for LIPO. It's already pointing down, as you guys can see. We have the downtrend that's already kind of pointing down, giving us great direction. It's building lower highs, but it's known to squeeze. We've seen LIPO go from $5 and immediately shoot up to $5.60. We've seen this go from $5.05, immediately shoot up to $6, and we've seen it go from $5.30 all the way back up to $5.95. Can we get the $5.30 crack, which should lead towards a big sell-off back down to $5? Now, if we do not get a $5.30 crack, team, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If it cannot crack $5.30, it's going to do one or two things. If it cannot crack $5.30, we are either going to see a big long upper shadow back up towards like $5.70 as it looks like it's going to break on out, then it's going to stop you out, and then it's going to get that massive dump all the way back on down. Or again, the tough thing is if this starts squeezing, it may actually squeeze. And so here it goes, guys. This is kind of what I'm talking about, where we're starting to move ourselves on up. This may get that possible squeeze, but I'm looking for that fake out breakout where it looks like it's about to break on out, then get that massive dump all the way underneath that 530 mark. That is obviously the goal here. So watch for this thing to possibly rip its way on up here. Remember, team, 610 is obviously very strong resistance. We're back up towards the VWAP. We're currently down $1,800 on this trade. We're hitting the VWAP again, looking for the reversal to see if this thing falls on down, but I would not be shocked, and I do plan on holding my LIPO trade. Right here, looking for this one to, even if it does pop on up, to get that crack underneath that 530-ish area. Now, let's take a little bit of a different time, frame right now. When I take a look at a time frame, there's a whole lot of mumbo jumbo going on with LIPO. What do I mean by a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo? There's different ways that traders would see it, and I can't disregard anyone who's saying I see it this way versus I see it this way. If you're saying, Deck, LIPO, I see that it had good news and I see that we're building higher lows right here. I can't disregard that. That is 100% true, that if you're on a 5-minute chart, I can see what you're looking for. If you're saying, Deck, LIPO has too much strong resistance up near around 610, I think it's going to get rejected at that 610 mark. Obviously, I can't say no to that either. At the end of the day, we have to do what puts the odds in our favor. And what I see again with the odds is that we are still underneath the VWAP. We still are looking for that 530 crack. LIPO is still building lower lows. And if it does spike on up one more time, I think it's going to be a fake out breakout on the spike side. So LIPO, get ready for that possible fake out breakout to the spike side if that happens. And LIPO right now still sitting right at $5, right along that VWAP area, but I'm going to keep holding tight for a little bit. LIPO, what can you guys see that's trying to hold on up? LIPO at this moment, team, is trying to hold something along these higher lows right here. You guys see this? So LIPO is trying to hold this. This is kind of like the new trend line over on LIPO. This is the new trend line over on LIPO. If we start cracking this trend, we may want to add our last 1,000 shares for that dump. Now, team, you guys know I'm still watching for $5 and even sub $5. That's what I want today. I want to see $5, even sub $5 on that trade. If I can get sub $5 on this trade, I'll be able to make a whole lot of cash. I'll probably be able to reverse this. Instead of being down $1,600, I'll be up around $2,000. I'll be up close to, again, $2,400. So the thing is, LIPO, if we do get this dump, I'll be going into the green. I'll make back my $1,600 loss. I'll be up into the profit if we can get this dump and this nice collapse that we're looking for. But it seems like we still have these higher lows at this time. Still have these higher lows. If we want to put, let's say, well, Deck, where's the downtrend higher lows? We could put something similar to around right here. And it's just a waiting game now. Just a little bit of patience now. Deck, can you again do some analysts over on Analyzing over on the S&P 500. S&P 500, green on the day, got up towards around 393. Right now it's above the VWAP. Slow and steady at this moment over on the S&P 500. Remember, the S&P 500 is not going to do anything crazy today. Please just make sure you guys understand that. It's not going to do anything crazy today. When is it going to go crazy? Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow is when this stock is going to go absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers tomorrow at the time of 8:30 a.m. The S&P 500, if you want to take a look at, it's still the same game plan as before. When we take a look over on this play, we know that we've had this very strong 60-minute time frame. We have the 60-minute time frame where we've had that channel hold on up for the past 3 weeks. You guys are above that channel. You guys are looking good. Now, let's just go ahead, break this down a little bit, all right? So, we've had this channel, right? This channel that held on up for the past 3 weeks. Top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance. Hold on real quick, guys. LIPO, guys, is starting to get a little bit of a crack. LIPO, do it for us, baby. LIPO starting to get a little bit of that dump. Let's go back to a 1-minute time frame. LIPO, guys, come on, baby. LIPO, let's see if this thing can go sub $5 at this moment. I want to see this thing go sub supersonic. Not supersonic, sub supersonic. And let's see if LIPO can start getting a little bit of this weakness here. So far, we got a nice crack at this time. Currently down $600 on the day. Already made back $1,000 on this day. Now we're looking to get ourselves back into the green and fall underneath that $5 mark. We know again, LIPO, its next main area of support is going to be where? Back down to $5. Now I have been bounced out at $5 twice already. So let's see, can this again crack and start falling back on down even lower towards this $5 mark? So I want to see if this thing can go back on down towards, $5.10, $5.08, $5.02, and fall underneath $5. Can I also ask you guys a question right now? Is there anyone here over in the chat room that is shorting with me over on LIPO and is a happy camper right now with the profits that we're at? Anyone again shorting with me over on LIPO, happy camper with the profits that we're at the moment? So LIPO, not too bad, not too shabby. Shout out to you guys. Let's see if this thing can fall. Italian Job says, damn Deck, you didn't add more shares. Hey, stop. Don't put me down when again I'm getting a little bit of love, okay? I'm trying to find my happy place right now, and it's just you're bringing a little negativity towards me. I was down in the red $1,600. I make a nice little trade right here, starting to put myself back in the green, and it's, oh, you should have added more shares. Can I get a compliment every once in a while? Maybe just one nice thing. Maybe that would feel good every now and then, guys. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Way to go, Deck, you loser. All right. That's LIPO. We're looking for that drop and fade all the way to sub $5. So no, you guys are awesome. I love you. Now, what do we need to remember here, team? We don't want to go back above 530. If we go back above 530, is that a bad thing? The answer is yes. If we go back above, let's say 530, we don't want to see that. And the reason why we don't want to see that is because back above 530, we don't want to have to go through the pain and everything that we just went through of getting underneath 530 before. So the thing is, we want to continue to see this drop and fade on off and go down to 510 and so. We don't want to go 530, 535 because that just means, hey, we got to do the whole entire process all over again. So what we actually want to see right here on the bids is the bids crack 520s. Go back down to the teens, right? So 523 right now. Let's see if we can take these out. So we got 100 shares at 523. Okay, we got 300 shares at 522. Now 287 at 521. Now we have about 1,000 at 520. Now we're again cracking the 520s, guys. Now we got to work ourselves on down there. You see an 11K buyer? 11K buyer, we are trying to break him on down. He's going to be a little bit more difficult. He's a little bit more stingy. Right now, guys, we're currently down $700 on this day. You can see the 11K buyer. He's our wall right now. If we can go through him, guys, we should be able to get a nice dump. So our 11K buyer is our wall at the moment that we're trying to break him. Let's absolutely break him like Rocky, the old Russian. I will break you. So the thing is 517. That's the 11K buyer we need to break on through. So we know he's going to be a little bit of support. We know he's going to be a little trouble, right? And we got to be able to go through that 517 guy. 517 guys. Watch the level 2. We got 520. Only again about 600 shares to break 520. We should be able to sell through that. Right now, again, we have some buyers right around that 520 mark trying to hold itself on up. This is definitely getting a little bit weaker. If we can go underneath 517, guys, everyone sees that wall. We all saw that there's a 17K buyer there. We got him down to 11K. If we can get him underneath 11K, we should be able to get the nice, next leg on down towards like sub $5. So let's see. LIPO at this moment, currently down $855. As I said, I'm not going to allow this to go back above 530. So that's why I'm just kind of keep my eyes peeled on this play. On the this stock right now, 527. Still watching this one, 525 on the bids. Come on, let's recrack 520 and let's see if this thing can go back on down to 517 or so. 527, getting a couple of bid orders right here. So it's still trying to hold on up. Do I think it's going to fall? The answer is yes, but I will again lock out. As I said, if we get back above 530 and just take a small win, get myself back. I like how the bids are starting to retrace though. Watch the level 2. The level 2 tells us a lot about a stock. Only 100 shares, 600 shares, 500 shares. Here we go. 5,000 shares though. 5,000 shares at 523. New wall, 523, 5,000 shares at this moment. Now again, buyers are gaining a little bit of confidence. So buyers are gaining a little bit of confidence because at 523, there's a 4,900 share buyer. And again, it's not like there's massive volume right now. So that's what's making this a little bit more difficult, right? There is again 16 million shares traded so far, but notice the level 2 is barely moving right now. And so we got to get through 5,000 shares, which isn't easy, right? He actually just uploaded. Now again, we're at 4,900. We got to get through this guy. This guy's going to be a little bit more difficult. And then we know 517, there's an 11K guy. So we got to be able to crack this guy. Okay, we got 4 guys, helmets on, helmets on. Whoo! Everyone again, battle stations, take him out. Fury, take him out. 1,400. He's at 1,400, guys. Don't lay off the fire. Make it rain on him. Now again, we got 400. We're taking him out right now. Guys, we took him out. Nice monster right now. Who are we? Sparta. What is our mission? Right now, LIPO, we're again watching to see, can we get back underneath 520? We know there's going to be that huge monster at 517. We just taking out these little Persians, guys. These little tiny Persians at around the 524 mark. They didn't do any damage to us whatsoever, but we are still watching to see if we can crack on down 523. Volume's a little bit lower. We know we got to get through 600 shares right here at 523. Let's just keep pushing forward. Let's keep pushing them forward at this moment, team. Right now we're giving up a little bit of ground. We can see a little bit of ground being given on up right here, team. I'm actually going to take my gains and just be a happy camper. Guys, I'm taking my gains right here. It's going back on up towards that 530-ish mark, taking my profits. All right, team. Hey, not a bad trade. I was able to make back roughly about $1,000. I made back roughly about $1,000. Happy with that. And now again, I can, my next trade, I can get back into the green. Okay. Hey, we'll take it. All right, LIPO, you and I, I feel okay. LIPO, I want to start fresh with you, LIPO. I want to start fresh with you. I want to take you out for dinner. I want to massage your body, oil you up from head to toe, drop some hot candle wax on you, and make our safe word pineapple juice. What do you say, LIPO? Let's tango today, huh? Right now, LIPO is trying to get a little bit of movement on this play. Let's get back into the green at this moment, and let's get ourselves going here. LIPO, still a pretty hot play. Underneath 530, we know that one's going to get a little weaker. LIPO, I definitely thought we have good movement, but the thing is, we had even crazier movement in pre-market. $3 all the way up to 670, back on down towards 470, and then it's gotten some decent movement. It just hasn't gone crazy just yet. Anyone interested on jumping back on in at around 550 here? It is back underneath the VWAP, and being back underneath the VWAP should show that this is starting to get some weakness. LIPO, traders starting to get a little bit weaker. LIPO, are we going to be able to get a bounce play back above 530? I'm actually going to again start grabbing some shorts here in case and I'm gonna have a close stop loss. If it gets back above 530, that shows it's starting to sell on off, or excuse me, that shows it's starting to have some strength. So I'm gonna basically just set a stop loss right around that 530 mark. I have 1,000 shares, giving it a chance for that dump, giving it a chance to see, can this one sell itself on off? So I basically am saying, all right, 530, I'm right next to 530. Let's see if again 530 is going to basically hold now as resistance, or are we gonna start moving ourselves back on up here? Only 1,000 shares at this moment, so I am looking for again that crack back underneath 530 for 530 start holding up as our main resistance line. So 530 has been very difficult, as we know. Looking for that dump underneath this again, this area. If it keeps on moving on up, not going to be worth it to me. If we go underneath 530, I'll keep adding shares. Notice we're on the trend line right now. We're looking for a crack of the trend line to dump on down towards new lows, but if it keeps holding above 530, it's most likely going to get another bounce. Another bounce is going to be all the way back on up towards around that 550 mark. We've had again bounce. We've had rejection. So it is a little bit of a guessing game here on which way this is going to be heading towards next. And I have a feeling when it does start cracking, it's going to crack quick. I have a feeling when this thing starts going, it's going to go quick. And I just want to get back to green today. Let me get back to green. Let me get back to neutral here, right? That's kind of my game plan. Get back to green, back to neutral. SPY, new high of the day. SPY, new high of the day at this time. Can this one get back underneath that 530 mark, team, and get the dump? And once we get get the dump, that's when I'll really be able to make our main profit on the day. Once we get our dump, that's when I'll be able to make, my main profit on the day. But it all comes down to trend lines right here. Guys, it's starting to get weaker. Starting to add some shares here. I'm going to add some shares. I'm adding my shares here, team. I'm in on 5,000 shares. Here's that 12K guy. I'm in on 5,000 shares at the price of 523. 5K shares short at the price of 523, looking to take out 517 and drop on down to the low $5. Guys, he's at 12K right now. He's at 517, 10K. He's again at 10K still. Guys, we are cracking this trend line. We got to take out that 517 guy. I'm in on this play at 523, 5,000 shares on the short side. We are cracking. We can all see we are cracking this trend line. If we are cracking this trend line, there's no doubt that I need to be on the short side. No doubt that we have to be on the short side on this play here. That 517 mark has been the main holdup at this moment, and I am currently still sitting on this play. 517's been the main holdup. I am in on this play, currently down again $1,200, 5,000 shares. If we can go underneath 517, it seems like that's going to be the main guy that we could get our sell off. So I'm still waiting for this dump. I'm still waiting for this crack. I'm still waiting for this sell off to be able to make that nice big profit that I've been dying for this entire day. And now again, what's the most important thing, Deck? The most important thing is we can all clearly see that we have a trend line here. We can all clearly see that we've had a downtrend. We can all clearly see we have an uptrend. This uptrend is now cracking. And as this uptrend cracks, this should start scaring buyers. This should start making buyers say, hey, this is not looking good. This is looking weak. And as again, this starts to crack on down, we should start saying to ourselves, all right, shorts are going to be more confident. Shorts are going to be healthier. And pretty soon, sooner or later, this is going to get that nice dump all the way down to $5 or even sub $5. Now, Deck, what's your stop loss? Stop loss would be if we get back above this uptrend. Because if you get back above the uptrend, it's not a good look. Getting back above the uptrend is actually showing what? Hey, we cracked the uptrend and had enough strength to get back above it. What did I tell you? I just said buyers are supposed to be scared here. I told you again, buyers are supposed to get weak here. I told you again, buyers are supposed to be saying, hey, you know what? We cracked underneath this trend line. It bounced here. 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 We don't want to see it hold above this purple line. We want to see it do that. Hit this again purple line, crack on down. We want to see it hit the purple line, fall back on down, and really start getting weaker. But if it starts again climbing back up towards the 540s or so, I am 100% getting out of this play. So just a heads up, still in on this play. Been waiting for this one, and we are back underneath that purple line, looking for momentum to shift. Hasn't been really a fast day, right? Hasn't been like a really fast day, but we're just trying to have a nice little patient day here. S&P 500 team, come on, let's get that dump. LIPO. Let's get that dump. I'll put the SPY on the bottom level too, in case you guys want to watch it. High of the day is 393.15. I saw someone in chat put a new high of the day. Who put new high of the day? Night Trader? What are you doing here? Make sure again you guys keep credible alerts at all time. LIPO waiting for the 517 crack, and all we're doing is doing a little patience. People are talking about last something I don't know it. Ooh, let's give them something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. And how about love? Come on, LIPO. Crack that 517 mark so we can go on with our lives. CPI data tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. CPI data 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Absolutely. So once LIPO team, I'm just staying positive. I'm just envisioning what I'm going to be doing next. If LIPO can crack this 517 mark, man, I'm just go off into my thought bubble right now. I'm going to go downstairs and whip myself up a brand new again flapjack of pancakes. Probably overflow it with some maple syrup. Probably get completely butt naked and then throw on a nice cheetah onesie. And after that, I'm going to sit on back, throw on Netflix, watch a little bit of Love Island. Then after that, I'm probably going to go to the gym, get myself a nice, workout, bang out some six-pack abs, and, probably eat some of the finest meals that New York City has to offer. Other than that, though, team, I'm going to enjoy the day, enjoy the sunshine and this absolutely beautiful January, feeling refreshed. That's my dream right now, team, if LIPO cracks 517. Hopefully it becomes a reality. Let's see. Come on. We all want to see a big cheetah onesie. Right now, traders, we do have our uptrend and we have our downtrend. We have our downtrend all the way back up towards the VWAP. We have our uptrend up towards around the price of 535 right now. Still looking at this move. Currently down again, $1,400. Waiting for a little bit of that crack. Does it look like it's squeezing? It wouldn't be squeezing until it gets back above the purple line, back above the price of 535. Then again, it could have that potential squeeze. We have still just been holding ourselves on up though. Like that's the thing over on LIPO. LIPO This is what I see as, again, you know, when I take a look over on LIPO, I see we had a bounce. 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 And of course, now we're no longer bouncing. Now, that's already showing that we have weakness. What else we have is we can go ahead and say, well, Deck, every time we've had weakness, you know, we keep getting held on up right around this 517 mark. So we've had a bounce at 517, bounce at 517, and another bounce at 517. To be able to really fall on down, we need to do what? Crack 517. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back on down towards 517. Everyone watch the bids here, and everyone start doing the haka. You know what I'm talking about? You ever see, again, those, you know, absolutely massive Hawaiians come on out? I don't know if they're playing rugby or if they're just trying to attract a mate, but they're just sticking out and just, you know, that whatever they're doing, team, it's intimidating, and maybe it'll work out over on LIPO, right? That thing gets me absolutely jacked on up. But just watch a couple of hakas every single day before you go to the gym, and you're going to get absolutely jacked. Okay, LIPO, still trying to hold on up right around that 517 mark. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Or am I just completely left alone here? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Team, I think that's what we have to do. You know, like these rugby players, guys, these rugby players are Australians or I don't know, wherever they're from, you know, they do that. I think before like a big rugby game, I think we have to do that before every single wake up in 9:30 a.m. Every single day at 9:25, we... and we just got to get absolutely fired on up. I think that's the only way to do it. We got to start haka-ing. Haka-ing! 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 LIPO, let's see if this thing can start dropping on down. Guys, keep it going. Keep those tongues rolling, baby. Tongues are rolling. Tongues are rolling over on LIPO at this moment. Let's get back into the green. Come on, crack $5 now. Crack $5. Crack $5. Let's get back into the green. We were down again $2,000 today. Let's see if LIPO can again crack on down sub $5 and maybe even get halted here. So let's see if this thing can keep on going. We're currently down $113. Let's get ourselves in on the green on this day. Guys, haka like your life depends on it, okay? Right now, again, LIPO at this time. Let's see if this thing can get the drop. We got 517, but we got our next area. Our next area is this bottom right here of $5. $5 is our next bottom at this time. We have bounced off $5 once, two, three, four times. We're looking to be able to take these profits down towards, again, the 490 area. Right now, again, the level 2 is currently sitting at that $5 mark, and let's see if we can crack $5 and actually pay us out some money, guys. I want 480s. You know, I want low 590s, 480s. Put us up. You know, put us up $500 on the day, $1,000 on the day. Let's start getting that drop. Everyone, haka like your life depends on it. Haka, baby. Haka. Whoo. Right now, haka, baby. Haka. 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 Oh, let's go. Let's see this thing down to 490 at this moment. See it down to 493, 487, 480. Start locking again a little bit of gains. Who got down? Say, I want this. I want this. Some money now. You don't know who the fuck I am. Oh, baby. Oh, let's go. All right, we're back in the green. We made back our loss on the day here, team. We made back our loss on the day here today, team. I like it. Hey, we're back. We're back in the green. We made back $2,000, and that's just because right now we're doing things right. We're doing things right.
Porque ella me da la mamá de 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 la mamá.
LASE trader. We start making a little bit of cash, making a little bit of money over here. Stock has room to run. I would say up towards around that 415-ish mark. LASE, any sort of news towards it? We just haven't really seen like a monster breakout yet, so I just don't think we're going to see a monster breakout. Right now, I am up $360 on the day, which, you know, does make me happy being up $360. It's always better than being in the red, but I want to see LASE here, traders. LASC currently up 53%. 2 hours ago, investors appear satisfied with 4 hours ago, board of directors authorized a 2 million share repurchase program. So 2 million share repurchase program. LASC team trying to get a little bit of love behind it. Still could be a nice little short. It does have some good volume. Has some nice little volume over on LASC. I'm honestly thinking LASC is just going to go up towards like 415, and that's going to be about it. I really don't think LASC is going to be going much higher than that. I think LASC may get up towards around 415. And let's see, is there any shares available? If I want to pull the trigger on the short side, it's only allowing me to purchase 100 shares at a time, which I wouldn't want to do. That's going to take forever. I'm just trying to play some volume, trying to play some hype, trying to get some momentum here. LASC, still trying to get a little bit of that momentum towards that upside. High of the day, 397 so far. High of the day is 397 so far. Let's see, LASC. LASC starting to get a little bit of a pullback, little bit of a drop here. Let's go back to like a 2-minute time frame. 2-minute time frame. LASC definitely showing it's gotten some nice little spiking towards it. I want to see if we get a $4 break. $4 break. Go ahead and look for some possible shares to short. Got up to $3.99. $3.99. $4. Going to lay down a couple short orders where we have big volume here. Big volume. You can kind of like sail in your shorts very easily, which I do like. You know, that's kind of the best thing about having, you know, very big volume is you can sail in your shorts very easily without, you know, a lot of people realizing it. Because sometimes again, when you do again big shares, you have some sort of, you know, either quick drop or quick spike or quick move or quick this or quick that. And that's not what you ever want. So a lot of times when you, again, get in on a short right next to resistance, it makes it, again, much easier without any sort of like unwanted movement on a play. LASC. LASC, I'm in on this play on the short side. I think it's going to get up towards around 415 if I had to take a guess, but I'd rather get in slightly early than slightly late. Right now, still LASC, still trying to get a little bit of hype, holding again that $4 mark. LASC, I am in on this play, 3,000 shares, cost basis $3.95 at this moment. Cost basis $3.95, LASC in on this play. Watch for this one, as I said, to probably get on up towards, right around that 415-ish mark, I'm thinking. If it does get up towards that area, that's where I would kind of want to load up on some shorts. But I'm just trying to make, you know, any money if I can today. You know, make another $200, make another $360, and let's see if this thing, you know, can start fading its way back on down. So I have no problem whatsoever if this thing just wants to get a nice little drop back on down to 370 and I can make, you know, $250. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. LASE, slightly in the green. Let's see if we just, you know, push ourselves up to like a near $1,000 in profit on the day. Right now, we're still sitting right around that $4 mark. Not really any sort of big, strong pullback just yet. A lot of plays, team, have been acting differently today. And what do you mean by acting differently? It's not like we've seen straight up spike or straight down dump, have we? It's like every single play is slowly moving on up and slowly moves on down. We haven't really seen, again, a stock go on any sort of big rip, big run, big, you know, straight up type of move. Every single thing that has gone straight on up has slowly moved on down, or again, you know, hasn't really been able to hold its gains, you know, too well and fades on down. It's not like, you know, any sort of rapid make $1,000 in 10 seconds, take off your pants and, you know, make this webcam rated R. You know, nothing along those lines just yet. LASC, we're currently up $127, 150. Ooh, now back on down. See, like, that's the thing. You know, we're getting little drops and little pops, little drops, little pops. Stay down, Simon. Today sucks for sure. I don't think it's, that's a little, I don't think it sucks. I think it's just a little slower. Hey, no such thing as a bad day. Just days of new opportunities. No such thing as a bad day whatsoever. LASC, guys, let's watch see this one move on up towards around a new high of the day. You go up towards around that 411-ish mark. Let's see again, as I said, like I want to see like 415-ish. 415 is where I think, you know, could be a very nice high area. LASC got up towards around that 412 so far. Still sitting right at $4. Nice climb so far. Nice climb, pullback. Nice climb, pullback. Looking for, again, that climb on up towards, again, 415. And another, you know, we're putting ourselves in another kind of slow shorting play. Another little slow shorting play here. Currently down again, or up $7. Looking for this one to fall back down into the mid 393s. I wanted to, as I said, I wanted 415. You know, I wanted the 415 mark to kind of load up on some more shares. But it doesn't look like we're going to get all the way up to 415. It looks like, you know, right now we got a big upper shadow. Big upper shadows usually lead towards, again, bigger sell-offs. So big upper shadows, that's a great sign that, you know, a sell-off could be coming. Let's see what happens as we come probably back on up towards around that $4 mark. I'm actually going to add one more 1,000 shares on this play. Still, again, keeping my cost base at $3.95 at this time. So I do have 1,000 shares, still my cost base at $3.95, currently down $2. Looking for a drop somewhere back on down towards around like 375, right? Somewhere back on down towards like this region. This is what I would, you know, somewhere back on down towards around that 375 mark. We do have, again, a spike. We do have an upper shadow. We do have a spike. See what happens. Still watching this. Going over towards a 1 minute time frame. 1 minute time frame still. Main support, it seems like, is still 390. Bounce play at 390. Bounce play at 390. Bounce play at 390. Crack 390 is where we're going on down. Top resistance, I think, is going to still be that 415 mark. Currently down $322 on the day. Currently up $38 in the green on the day. So let's just see if we can get a little bit of reversal. Fade on down here. Be able to make a little bit of money on the downside, as we're not forcing trades. We're not forcing trades, but we're just kind of waiting for that best opportunity. Little heads on up. BIOR team. BIOR was yesterday's #1 top gainer. Just got halted on the upside. That might be a good sign on LASE, because what I want to see is a mob shift. The mob stands for the majority of buyers. Sometimes when the majority of buyers look and see a different play, everyone leaves the current play. So for instance, how this would work is LASE is currently a very hot stock. People are buying in on LASE, but as the next few seconds go by, everyone's going to realize that BIOR, aka the hottest stock of yesterday, yesterday, which went all the way from $2 all the way up towards $8.90, is now starting to get halted. That may make people leave LASE and may again lead towards a drop. So actually, I usually love when I see other stocks go on big time rips while I'm on a short, because that could definitely lead towards a nice little sell. So it's something that I always am aware of, and it's always something I keep my eyes peeled on to see, are we going to have a mob shift, the majority of buyers shifting to a new play. LASC though still holding right around $4, currently down $242, looking for that crack underneath 390, and underneath 390 I think we fall back down to low 370s and slowly even all the way down towards the 360. But couple slow plays today, team, couple slow plays, which I like switching on up. Sometimes I like to get the heartbeat going in a million different directions at the same time, but at the same other times it's nice to just have a nice slow play where you don't really have to be too concerned. It's not like in a blink of an eye you're down $1,000. You can try to get the best entries and kind of work on things. And what I like a lot of times on slow plays is I can really again take a look at my charts. I can really again watch the level 2. I can really try to figure out where is there going to be dumps and cracks and pullbacks and all that good stuff. So like when I take a look over on the on LASC right now, LASC, I can see that LASC has some sort of an uptrend. I can tell you if LASC goes back on down towards around 390, we're probably going to get a nice dump back on down towards 388. I could see that we have resistance up near 415, and I could see that we have trouble right around $4. I can see that this stock is trying to set itself up in a bull flag pattern to spike on up towards a new high of the day. But if it can't break that 405 mark, we're going to go back on down towards 375. I can see that the level 2 over here is currently sitting at 395. And now again, we're testing this trend line. We have to see if this trend line is going to hold. And if this trend line can't hold, you can actually add another 1,000 shares for a possible short to see a new low of the day. So again, I'm actually going to jump on in with another 5,000 shares. Not a new low of the day, but I do think we're going to get a crack and we could be able to make, $300 plus. Let's see if can we crack 390. There you guys go. Nice little dump on down. Now we're up $347. There's the nice dump that we wanted to see right here. And now, of course, as we're down towards again 381, we could start taking some gains. And now again, guys, let's lock it on out. And we just made $360. So the thing is, team, we are now up $704. And you know what's so awesome about that, team? Awesome about this trade is sometimes the slow trade is the easy trade to read, guys. Sometimes the slow trade is the trade that you can get very prepared on and you can know exactly where to add. You know exactly where to, of course, be jumping in on.